So I'm generally a positive, optimistic person, but there have been times in my life when I've really struggled, felt totally lost and confused. And being editor of Psychologies magazine, I know I'm not alone. Every day we get letters from our readers who are struggling with life's challenges, be it a difficult childhood, the grief of losing people that they've loved, getting a divorce, struggling with fertility or anxiety, having problems at work, dealing with an addiction, dealing with a narcissistic boss we had this week, coming to terms with our sexuality, or overcoming childhood abuse. We wouldn't be human if we didn't struggle in the face of life's various struggles. And that is why I'm such a big fan of therapy. So finding a safe place and a person to speak to in times of trouble has been enormous help to me throughout my life. It is therapy which has given me the tools and taught me the lessons that have not only helped me to survive, but helped me to thrive. So my first experience of therapy was over 30 years ago, in my 20s. Both my parents died of cancer when I was a teenager. So I just started university and I had a whole new life stretching ahead of me, but my safety net had gone in an instant. I was bereft, I was grieving, I was completely lost. But I was a northerner. And in my family, the general response to any kind of challenge was, just get on with it. So when a friend was wise enough to suggest a therapist, I point blank refused. I just hit the bar and did lots of tequila slammers. And as you might guess, it just made things worse, not better. So eventually that same friend dragged me to the therapist office and left me there. I sat there hungover and very, very resistant and very, very angry. I soon discovered that I wasn't resisting the therapy. I was resisting feeling my feelings, my grief, my anger, my fear. Bottom line, I was terrified that if I started to feel my feelings, to express my feelings, it would destroy me. That's how it felt as a 20-year-old who just lost her parents. No one could surely feel this amount of pain and survive, is what I thought. So I went into survival mode, and I did everything to numb my feelings rather than to talk about it. But in that therapist's office, they created a space for me. She created a space for me where I could start my grieving process. I can't really remember what she said. All I remember is how I felt, and I just felt safe. As you can imagine, being at university, I was surrounded by people all interested in having a good time versus somebody who was grieving. I had no safe place to go. So I used to literally count down the hours until I could go to the therapist's office and to be able to just say, I feel terrible, I can't do this. I would confess that I wasn't okay. And that was a big thing, to say, I'm not okay, I can't do this. And she didn't say you could do this, she just let me say that I wasn't okay. Over 12 months, this therapist helped me find my new kind of okay, my new kind of normal. I discovered that you could be heartbroken and survive. My therapist created a safe harbor for me to get my ship in order before I set sail again into stormy seas. So the first lesson that therapy taught me was one of resilience. I discovered that we actually are stronger than we think. And I learned that you can't, well, for me, I couldn't avoid emotional pain, and the only way out was through. But the most important lesson that I learned in that session was that you cannot control what happens on the outside. However, we can control how we react to it. And that has made, really, that started me on this journey. That made the distinction for me, all the difference between a happy life and a miserable one. As I moved on with my life, I left university, I got married, I moved to Yorkshire, where I went to therapy again because I felt that I had learned how to survive emotional pain, but I didn't feel like I was thriving. I felt like I was going through the motions. And a short bout of, I think it was CBT, it was a long time ago, I learned the basic tools about rewriting my story. I wanted to make sense of what happened with my parents. But also I wanted to deal with the negative voices that told me something terrible was just about to happen at any moment. I wanted to find a new soundtrack to my life. Therapy helped me rewrite the negative script and create a new script. It helped me make the decision to retrain as a journalist, and I went on to specialize in mental health and health. I was, and I still am, evangelical about the role of therapy to help people, to help identify the blind spots that keep you stuck. Therapy helped me identify and then change the negative beliefs that were guiding my life, and helped me build not only a new belief system, but the foundation for a whole new career. The therapist talked to me about wolves in my session. I think there was one of the workshops today that was talking about wolves. And she talked about a Cherokee Indian story about two wolves. An old Cherokee grandfather was teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going inside of me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One wolf is full of anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." So therapy taught me that when the wolves are at the door, that the secret is not trying to kill the big bad wolf, but finding and feeding the other wolf. I still have therapy today. I'm currently receiving, I know this one, psychosynthesis counselling as post-divorce. I'm writing a new love story for myself. Therapy is teaching me that true love is not out there, but it's in here. And that I'm learning at the moment that self-compassion is the ingredients that truly makes my world go round. So that's why, as editor of Psychology, I'm delighted that we're joining forces, because I have an army of readers out there. 65% of people who come to our workshops, who come to our events, who contact us, 1.7 million altogether, they are all looking for help in one version or another. Someone in the break told me that they didn't like my magazine, that it was full of adverts and full of things about sofas. But normal people come normal readers come to the magazine, and they may be struggling with anxiety, and they may be struggling with something, and they don't know where to go. They don't know how to fix it. And so, yes, my magazine, it is about entertainment, but also underlying that, if you look carefully, if you read the articles, it is about inspiration, it is about hope. And now that we're joining together with the UKCP, we can offer the different therapies that are on offer. We can help people find the right help that they need through the website together. And I loved what we were talking about earlier, where we had the panel about this collaboration, and I've just been talking about it down here as well. This idea of we all do different things really, really well. I'm not a therapist, but you are, and I can bring you people who are struggling, who need help, and that together we can educate them about what therapies can do what, and I'm not sure. And Psychologies, what we're offering for everybody is their own blog on the site. So I think part of the issue is, one, knowing which therapy to choose, so we can educate people about that. We're going to do that in the magazine and on the blogs. But it's also which therapist to choose. So often when I've been working, you're in a very, very vulnerable state. So imagine me sort of staggering into the therapist's room when I was 20. And if I'd found the wrong therapist, or if I hadn't gelled with that therapist, I don't know what would have happened to me. What I love about the UKCP is that you're highly qualified. You've done your stuff. You've done the academic learning. And that you can help my readers to heal and to thrive. The tagline at Psychologies magazine is stronger, happier, wiser. Together, my greatest wish is that we can support people to find new ways, new inner scripts, self-compassion and self-awareness, so we can support and help people to find the strength happiness, and wisdom, and weave it into their lives. Thank you.